There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We're back. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you all. Appreciate you out there. I know it was kind of rough because I made the switcheroo there, but just to kind of, hey, listen, man, my life is an open book for you guys. Apparently, the service that we use, they cut you off at 4 hours, right? And so we're about to cross 4 hours. And so I don't want to do that, so I had to restart a new recording to get it going to make sure we don't get cut off, because I may do about another half hour, maybe 40 minutes, or maybe I go to an hour if I feel like it. That's the beauty of being able to do whatever the hell you want to do in this world. Appreciate all of you that are making the switch over and finding us once again on the program. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As loaded up, and don't forget to smash that like button as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you, all of you out there. Lenny Pena says, "Welcome back, Big O." There we go. Big O Tua out 3 to 6 weeks. Yeah, I know. Fractured ribs, and it sucks, and sucks for the development and all that. And we talked about this in the last, at the beginning of the show, that it just kind of takes the winds out of my sails a little bit here. And this is the one thing that I always worried about with Tua is his injury history. He's not a durable player. And that's a risk. And I think that moving forward now, if you're Chris Grier and you're Brian Flores, you have to stop taking chances on injury-prone players. I'm not a fan of it. Look, I made the mistake with Parker. I was a big Devontae Parker fan. He had a couple of injuries in Louisville, and I chalked it up to maybe bad luck. And I said, but he's such a freakish talent. I thought he could be great for Miami. And listen, injuries and all, he's done a decent job. But unfortunately, he will never justify the pick that was made for him because his body never held up. And these are things that, once in a while, like Fred Taylor was very injury prone, and then he figured his body out and went on a roll. And you're kind of hoping that maybe Tua can figure his body out and go on a roll. But you look at him, those ankle injuries are freakish. The hip injury is freakish. Now he's got this rib injury. And it just gets to a point where you have to look at what he is. And because his body is not big and tough and durable, when he does, and this is a brutal game, that when that collision happens, you have to cringe because you fear the worst more often than not, because that's been the case for him. And unfortunately, it reared its ugly head again. And I think this has to be a lesson learned for the front office and for the head coach, that you cannot rely on injury-prone players. Let somebody else take them. And if they get lucky and the player stays healthy, God bless them. But what are you going to do? And that's the one part about the whole Tua situation, that you open yourself up for criticism now because he's injury prone. And people are going to ask you, well, you knew he had injury history in Alabama. Why did you continue to take the chance? And then look at it here, and it happened again. And it's going to be a legitimate criticism for the front office. And this is something they're going to have to deal with. They're going to have to answer these kind of questions. It's going to be asked. It's fair. It's a fair question to ask. It's a concern we all had, I think most of us, right? Look, I still to this day, I'm not concerned about him playing. I know he can play at this level. He just needs to adjust to it and figure everything out and see all the defenses and all that kind of stuff. Go through, what football is like at this level for a year or two, and I think he'll be more than fine as a player. I have no doubts. I've seen guys with weaker arms have success. I've seen guys that don't have any brains have a little, they have some brains, but this kid's really smart. I've seen guys that don't even have his kind of accuracy succeed. So I know that this young man can succeed. But the bottom line is, if you're going to succeed, you got to stay healthy. And that's been his problem. He cannot stay healthy. And here we go. He hasn't even played a full season. On the 10th game and 9 snaps, he's out 3 to 6 weeks with a fractured ribs. It's not a good look. Just not a good look. I wish the best, man. I want the kid to recover. He's such a great kid. He works hard. He wants to be great. I like Tua the person a lot. I believe in Tua the quarterback. It's just hard to believe the durability factor. That's what gets tough with Tua, is how can you expect him to stay healthy when this has been his history? You know what I mean? And this is a brutal game. That's the other thing. Brutal game. Offensive player of the week, Derrick Henry. Shocker. I just saw that Mike Vrabel is addressing it. I see my man Teron Davenport reporting that. Ian from Brooklyn says, I need your positivity. Oh, this a gut check. I mean, listen, it's not about giving you hopium. You know what I mean? It's not so much about the hopium and ODing on the hopium and all that stuff. I'm just going to look at things realistically is the way I'm going to look at them. And there's still lots of things to look forward to. It's just this part of the equation, the quarterback, which is the most important. What was I talking about with Rick Spielman? Like, he's been a really good GM for Minnesota. The only position he hasn't been able to figure out is a quarterback. That one's tough to figure out. And if Herbert goes on to have a career, then that's another thing they're going to have to live with. And listen, I wasn't a big Herbert guy. After hearing all the stuff about being an introvert and all that, and not seeing enough with the arm. I know he had the arm. I know he has the athleticism and the size, but there aren't any signature games for him. And even down the stretch in his senior year, he won games with his legs, not with his arm. And so that whole narrative was out there with him, and I went with it. And so far, I will say, he's looked good. He's put up stats, but I have not been impressed yet because he hasn't beaten anything quality so far. And I've seen those kind of quarterbacks that when they go up against the good teams, no matter what their talent is, they don't win those games. Once in a while you'll win one because the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while, but he has not won one yet. But this is one that's going to hang on Chris Greer and Brian Flores right now. And if Herbert goes on over the next 6 weeks to kick ass and beat some quality teams, that's not going to be a good look for this front office. And then they're going to have that. Then the pressure is on them now to really get themselves a quarterback. And they better get one quickly, because if you go about developing your team without a quarterback, man, it's so much tougher. Because now you're asking the guys to be almost perfect every week in order to win. So let's hope Let's hope. First of all, I hope Tua can come back and have a healthy stretch for the remainder of the season and play well. That really would be the perfect scenario right now. But I know that they have to be thinking, okay, whether he comes back or not. I mean, they've been inquiring about Watson, right, last year. So obviously, when Watson was available, they wanted to check in and see what they could do. I mean, Watson is proven. That's the difference. Tua will be fine. At least it's not an ACL or anything worse. I mean, you're right, because he would be done for the year on the ACL. Here's the thing that you really need while Tua's out. This is the key while Tua is out. That line develop. That line learn how to play better football. That's what you need right now. And you know what would be fun? Would be fun that Jacoby does a good job, even though I'm not big on Jacoby Brissett. I think he's just a guy. That would be cool if he can play a little over his head and Miami win most of their games while he's in there. But the most important thing is that line finds their confidence, that you figure out that a couple guys can play. So when Tua does come back, he comes back to a group that can actually protect him. Because think about this. Do you want to see an Andrew Luck situation again? Not that Tua's going to quit because he gets pounded on, but it was criminal to watch what Andrew Luck was going through every week with the Indianapolis Colts. That to me was the real problem. That's the part of the equation that bothered me thoroughly about what went on, is that guy was getting killed. And you're like, dude, you got a generational talent and you're not protecting him. And then that's been my critique here, that you drafted your young quarterback who is injury prone and you put a bunch of young guys in front of him. And that was just a recipe for disaster. They've got to fix that and fix it right away. And those guys better improve by the time Tua comes back. What I don't want to see is Tua to come back to get killed again. What I don't want to see is that Jacoby Brissett is getting pounded on week in and week out. And I don't even look forward to Tua coming back then, because I know what the end result is going to be. Kid's going to end up injured again. And that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. How do you find out about somebody if they're injured? You know what I'm saying? That's the tough part. Dana Buse says Smith to Mahomes. Smith to Mahomes. What does that mean? Oh, Vic to Ryan. Oh, man. Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, that sometimes you get lucky, man. Sometimes you're so bad, you end up with a pick. And remember, Manning got injured so you can win one game, and you got luck. So that happens. Now, the Mahomes one was not that. They traded up to number 10 to get the kid who was really raw, and they believed that they could develop him, and they were right. They were right. I mean, I remember that offseason, and just so you'll know how a lot of the talk around the NFL was for Mahomes. A lot of people were wowed by his arm, but they weren't convinced about his accuracy. And so he was viewed as a project. And it's interesting on the development of Mahomes and Josh Allen. Although Josh hasn't been as accurate the first two games, maybe he gets back on track. But it's funny how the last couple of years there have been a couple of these guys that have had wicked arms, but the accuracy was questioned. And with Josh, I saw it firsthand, like, wow, it was bad. And with Mahomes, not as many people were able to see him live and all that kind of stuff. So it was a little different in that sense. But still, a lot of the guys that you talked to was like, oh, no, the kid's got one hell of an arm. But we're not sure where that arm is. Like, can he be consistent and all of that? And I think a lot of people didn't see him developing into what he turned out to be. Now, Alex Smith to Mahomes is not really Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck, my friend. That's the only thing I would say. I mean, I admire Alex Smith's toughness. I admire his character. The fact that he came back from that brutal injury to play last year with Washington was, I mean, you got to admire that man for coming back. That resiliency, that toughness is super impressive overall. Okay. I mean, those are the facts. You just got to give that man a lot of credit for that. But having said all that, Alex Smith is nothing more than a game manager. Alex Smith is not the guy that I would like quarterbacking my team. So they had to go to Mahomes. They were dying to go to Mahomes because they knew that Alex Smith wasn't the answer. Solid player, but not good enough to convince your coach that, okay, that's a championship quarterback. No, unless you have one of those Tampa Bay teams or Baltimore teams, excuse me, from the early 2000s, there's no way you're going to be able to get it done. Let's see. Get Watson. O-line suddenly will be better. No, they won't. They're not going to be better. Andy, that's ridiculous. Gaskins will look better. Wide receivers won't drop balls. Tua's a boring QB, doesn't inspire anybody. All right. Well, you started off with one bad statement, and then you just followed with many stupid statements. Love you, but terrible text on your part, Andy. Just really stupid shit. Yeah, because he must have not inspired anybody at Alabama off the bench to go win the national title and save their ass. But he's uninspiring. Yeah, he was uninspiring against Arizona last year too. I mean, some of you just look, if you don't like the quarterback, just say, you know what, I've never believed in Tua, so his injury doesn't mean much to me. Okay, that's it. But I mean, when you come up with stupid explanations, okay, just get Watson. Sorry-o. Yeah, I mean, that's better. That's better. Just say you don't like the guy. He doesn't inspire. What the hell is that, dude? The fuck does that have anything to do with it? Just ridiculous. You know? Thank God Tua don't have the lineup behind these guys until they get it together. Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. We don't know if they're going to get it together. We're crossing our fingers and hoping they figure it out. I'm telling you that's what I'm hoping as a Dolphins fan. I'm hoping these guys figure it out because I don't want to see the kid recover from a rib injury to get behind the line and take another effing pounding. You know what I'm saying? That I don't want. I just, that would disgust me. Put it that way. I'd be really pissed if the poor kid has to recover from a rib injury and then he has to line up. And if we watch Jacoby Brissett take a beating for the next couple of weeks, then that's now. Let me say something also about this. Can I defend the offensive line a little bit? They weren't that bad last year. What happened in the Buffalo game, they were never that bad. So at times they had some serviceable moments. So let's hope that they can start to recapture some of those moments, but we still need to see them do better than that. Because still, Tua got walloped a couple of times in certain games like the Rams. You want to make sure that you're playing somewhat better, please. But there's no guarantee because none of us really know. We still don't know which one of these linemen is going to make it and not make it because it's way too damn early to be able to tell. Let's see. Y'all bringing up the Arizona game every time. He's played 8 or 9 games since. I'm just saying that was a really tough game that he won. I don't want to pick an easy game against a weak opponent. I'm going to pick a one against a good opponent that I saw him make a lot of good throws in that game. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the upside. But if you don't give him what he needs, It's hard for him to achieve the upside all the time. That's my point with that. And there aren't a lot of examples. The kid's only played 10 games and 9 snaps. And it's actually 9 games in a fraction of it because they benched him also for Fitz in one of those games that he played last year. And that's why he actually, I think he gets credit for it, but he really shouldn't get credit for one of those games. He hasn't played a lot. There aren't a lot of examples I can go after. I don't have 4 or 5 years of film and games, my friend. I have a very small, window that I can actually pick stuff from. Enrique Lopez says, you think we are looking for other O-line, or are we just going to hope that the ones we got is enough? Enrique, what's available out there right now? Seriously, what do you think is available right now? Do you know that there's O-line issues all over the NFL? College football also has O-line, but forget college. In the NFL, there are several teams that have O-line problems. So everybody's already scooped up all the linemen. So whatever's out there is not the answer. And as I said earlier, trading is not the answer either for you right now, because you're going to have to overpay to a point that's just ridiculous. And this is a developmental year. It's not like a Super Bowl year that you're like, oh, hey, we're a Super Bowl team. No, we got to scramble and get this done right now because this is our window. It's not. It's still a developmental year. So I don't want to see them trade away a bunch of picks for guys that are nothing special. They're decent. And then they have to overpay for that. I don't like that, my friend. I don't want that. Let's see. Big O, Bob Greasy retired in 1980. Marino came in 83. Stop acting like finding a QB is hard. It's hard for stupid teams. Dana, do you know how Marino ended up in Miami? Are you old enough? Do you know? You have any idea? It wasn't really skill. I'm not sure if you know the story. That was pure luck for the Dolphins. He was clearly the second best quarterback in the draft, but there were rumors. Cocaine use. He had a bad senior year. He threw a bunch of interceptions. They took Tony Eason and Todd Blackledge in front of him. They took, was it 4 quarterbacks in front of him that didn't belong in front of him? And then Shula got lucked out that he fell in their laps, and okay, we'll take him. Sometimes it's also luck. You know what I mean? Miami hasn't had that luck. It's not that simple. Tua is a young QB that is still growing and developing and still has very high ceiling. Y'all talk without substance. I agree. It's just health now. It's now you got to keep him healthy in order to reach that potential. That's why I told you that while he's out, that line better improve. I don't want to see that young man come back and take another beating. That's embarrassing. That'll be almost as bad as Gervin Hall choosing not to tackle last week. Oh, my God. Wow. How Gervin Hall is still on that football program. I would actually put my arm around Gervin Hall if I was the head coach. I say, Gervin, you're a nice young man. But what you did this week, there's no place for it. So I just want you to know we got a spot for you on the bench there. And that spot there will be there for you permanently until your final days here at the University of Miami. So when the offseason rolls around, do what you want. We're moving on. And that's it. Gervin Hall would not play for me at all. That was terrible. I don't know, but for those wanting Watson, this team isn't a QB away from winning the Super Bowl. The team has some serious core issues on offense. You are correct. You'll probably get Watson injured. Yes. I would agree 1,000% on that one. Watson will probably end up injured if he plays on this team. Andres says, so tank for who? I like Tua. This is one of the offensive line coaches, coaching staff lacking of identifying the rush. What does that have to do with Jesse Davis and the pass rusher literally in front of him, sir? What does that have to do with the coach? You mean Jesse Davis could not identify that there's a pass rusher in front of him? Come on, man. Lazy takes is what it is. Now let's just blame the coach. No, let's not blame that they gave him 4 offensive young linemen to work with and a journeyman as the right tackle. No, let's why leave the facts out of the equation? I mean, it's like every offensive line coach in the world could really fine-tune these guys and get them going. And they'd be running for 1,800 yards with Myles Gaskin. I still want to believe in Tua, but without the right protection, the kid doesn't stand a chance, or else could be a Breeze-like draft disaster that will set our franchise back decades again. Are you going to argue with the woman? No, I can't argue with Lisa. She is 100% right. And that's what's going to piss me off, is if that line doesn't get better and he comes back to take a beating. That'll piss me off. That'll definitely piss me off. I can tell you that. Big O, would you be behind them drafting a QB next year, even if Tua comes back and does well? Yes. Yes, I would. Now, if Tua plays well for the rest of the time that he's here till next year, and the line starts to get better, I can understand staying away from one if you just go to improve the line. Because I can't bail out on the kid on one injury. But if there's another one, then yeah, you have to go get another quarterback. You have to prepare yourself. Yes. No doubt. I went to a pawn shop yesterday, Tremolio says, to buy a guitar. I saw the turnover chain there. They said Manny needed to sell it to smoke some hopium. There is no hopium for Manny. That's the problem. Let's see. HM says the front office tried to get cute with picks and money, and they're paying the price now. I mean, can't argue with that. You didn't spend enough on the line, and the picks so far on the line, too early to give up on them. But yeah, they're not working out right now. Yeah. Big O, I would love for you to have an NFL Insider Media member not in the South Florida area on your show, because nationally the view of Tua is drastically different. There's a lot of people locally that don't believe in Tua. That's not true, sir. Alan Poupar is not a Tua guy. So there are people locally, there's plenty of them, and plenty of fans that don't like Tua. Now, what do I need to bring those people on for? What are they going to teach us? What are they going to teach me? What are they going to say that I haven't said already? I'm not exactly sure. Plus, they don't watch the team every day like we do. They don't cover the team every day. And they don't watch every game closely. They watch the lowlights right now, because that's all we got from last week's game, right? Or lowlights. That's my problem too, my man. I don't think a lot of people on the outside are really going to teach us much, because they don't really follow the team the way we do. Big O, if we win a couple games in a row and Tua comes back, this fan base and media are going to say, crucify Tua. No, I get you. But hey, man, I got to tell you something. I'm certainly not going to be hoping for them to lose just because I want Tua to come back and all that. No, if Jacoby Brissett can win games, let's do it, bro. Prove me wrong. Let's go. Would be nice. Pat says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Draft a QB every year until you hit on one or two of shines. That makes sense. Big O, this is the second injury he missed a game last year because of a thumb injury. Yeah, but he ended up playing through that thumb. So he didn't really have a long, it wasn't 3 to 6 weeks. That's different. I mean, listen, any QB can get, nicked up and you're out for a week. Derek Carr could be out this week. He's close enough that they think he's probably going to end up playing, but he could have hurt enough just to be out a week. That happens that I wouldn't hold against Tua. It's an injury that's a small injury and you're out for a week. That can happen to any player, man. That part's not fair. But now 3 to 6 weeks, yeah, you're kind of I'm a little concerned now. And that next injury, yeah, that's where I'm going to say, yeah, this is not good. Now, if the next injury is 10 years from now, then it's a different ballgame. Should we be second-guessing Grier and Flores about taking Waddle instead of Sewell yet? I believe Waddle is going to be special. He's already shown some crazy speed and skills. No, I wouldn't pick on him for that. I'd pick on him more for not spending in free agency and getting a couple of experienced linemen. You needed Waddle anyway. You had to have a stud receiver. So at least now you have one for long term. I hope Tua goes to a different team. Dolphins don't deserve him. Well, I hope Tua gets an offensive line, sir. That's what I want the Dolphins to do. Develop an offensive line so you can help the kid out. Big O, do you think that Jackson may have been LOL weak from COVID? We've seen dips from other players after COVID. I'm not sure. Not sure. It's a good point. Maybe COVID is affecting him. I'm not going to go with that, but I could see COVID affecting any player. Tank McBride says, I'm at the point where some fans are going to give Tua I'm at the point where some fans ain't going to give Tua a fair shake. Oh, that's already happened, man. We talked about that yesterday. People think that the Jets kid, plenty of upside. He threw 4 interceptions. Dude, four interceptions, plenty upside. Maybe he does have upside, but I would love to see Tua throw 4 interceptions because it would be on national television. They would be crucifying him locally and nationally. There is a double standard. There's no doubt in my mind there's a double standard. NorCal says every QB is the main focus for every offense. Play at least 2 seconds. Play for at least 2 seconds, and their chances of injury are higher. I imagine not making excuses for Tua, just a thought. I wonder whose Brissett favorite target will be. I'm going to go with Gesicki. I think Gesicki will be his favorite target. If Austin Jackson was so bad as I saw in person, how come they didn't do what other teams do and put a tight end or blocking on his side for help? I can't help you on that, bro. I've been talking about max protection. The other thing that I talked about that I thought they should do was move the pocket for him. They didn't do it. I thought they would do it starting in New England. They didn't do it in week 1 or week 2. They played Jakeem. They kept Albert Wilson on the roster. There's several things that I disagree with. And I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Brissett is not going to lose games. Won't win them either. Still would have taken Waddle, but I would have done what it takes to get Slater instead of Phillips. We had the draft capital to trade up. San Francisco could end up with a higher first-round pick in 2022 draft pick now, and us with a lower first-round draft pick. That sucks. Opposite of our first-round draft pick from Houston. Too early. Let's not turn in the towel, as they say. Let's not throw in the towel, as they say. I'm still not ready to give up on this season. Okay, while it's depressing to hear that Tua is out 3 to 6 weeks, I'm still not there where, oh my God, the season's over. I'm going to give these guys an opportunity to see if they can get it done. Big old business aside, Jones and Neto should be getting a shot. I understand in preseason, two out of three second and third stringers, but they look dominant. Could be worse. Well, you bet your ass. I don't know about Neto, but Jones will definitely get an opportunity. Guaranteed. Well, he played last week. They benched Solomon Kinley towards the end for about 7, 8, 9 plays or something like that, and they played the kid, Robert Jones. So I would not be surprised if Robert Jones gets an opportunity. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Brian Morgado. Thank you for the text. Let's see. Muffy says, I guarantee if Josh Rosen, Johnny Manziel go to New England, they win at least 8 to 9 games, maybe more. The O-line, Bill Belichick doesn't let no one harm his QB. Been elite at that all his life. Okay, dude. Yeah, he would make Josh Rosen and Johnny Manziel gods. They would be phenomenal, bro. People need to calm down. We're 1-1, not 0-6. I hate this attitude, some fans, because of a rough loss. Yeah, but Sam, I think now it's not just a rough loss, which I'm with you. I wasn't throwing in the towel or anything, but I think the fact that Tua is out 3 to 6 weeks and you're playing Brissett for 3 to 6 weeks, that doesn't instill a lot of confidence in a lot of people. Let's just call it like we see it. Hopefully Brissett shocks the world. Hopefully the offensive line starts playing better. Hope we see more balance among the team. But let's be honest, he just doesn't instill any kind of confidence in there. This organization is so full of crap with info, very deceptive, but whatever. If they're not winning playoff games within a year or two, it'll be clean house again, shameful for decades. Yeah, if they're not in the playoffs in the next year or two, you're probably right, Tremolio, that people will be up in arms and they'll be going crazy. I'm with you. I swear I didn't sleep well thinking about that damn volcano. Did you guys hear about that volcano? Wow, that volcano at La Palma Islands, the Spanish Canary Islands. I was thinking about that mega tsunami that they were talking about, and then this morning I finally read that no, don't believe the hype. There can't be no mega tsunami. I went to sleep thinking about a mega tsunami coming out of there because apparently, if you weren't listening earlier, there's a big ass fault line in the middle of that island, and they've had thousands of earthquakes, so they think with the right earthquake that half of that island and the mountains are going to come down. And they're talking about these giant ass boulders that are size of cities coming straight down. And it would pick up around 200 miles an hour. So when the boulders hit the water, and we're talking about, mountain boulders, okay, that it would open up a gulf of a half a mile of water. And then that would create a tsunami that would then go all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to all coasts in the Atlantic Ocean, including ours in Florida. And so yesterday I read where they said it could be 200, 300, 400 feet, the wave when it gets to Florida, and that the wave would cover the state of Florida, that it would flood from one side of the state to the other. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, no, come on. And then now they said that they don't think that it's not true, that it's all hype. They don't think it's going to happen right now, but they said that if it does, what's more realistic, which I hope you don't live by the coast, it's that it would be a 65-foot wall of water. That's the realistic figure of the amount of rocks that would fall, or the amount of the island that would fall into the ocean and would create the wave. It would be more around 65 feet, which 65 feet still ain't no joke, dude. That's not, that would wallop the hell out of, Miami Beach and Key Biscayne and all that stuff. That would not be, I would not wish that on anybody. But I don't know if you guys saw that, but yeah, mega tsunami. Let me see if I can find something that says about the mega tsunami for you guys. I guess this is Newsweek. Let me see here if they have it. There we go. But and by the way, it is an impressive what's it called? Site. And they said that the lava could be shooting out days, weeks, or it could be months. And I think it's either last night or tonight at 8:00, it'll make it to the ocean. And then when it makes it to the ocean, apparently when it goes off the cliff where it's at, it has a 350-foot drop. And then they said it could start acid rain from that. Scary stuff, dude. I got to admit, scary stuff. Big Drip ENT. I don't know what that means, my man. Let's see. Oceanfront property just off Lake O, downtown Belle Glades. Yuck. Yeah, Big O. They say here in the United States, we are due in Yellowstone Park. That happens no, the Yellowstone one is the worst. We don't want that one happening. That would end civilization. All right. We'd be in dark ash for months. You wouldn't even see the sun. Most of the United States would be covered. It would be inches and inches of ash all over the country, which would then ruin things, ruin livestock, ruin plants, everything. It would kill so much. It would be terrifying, dude. Yeah, I've heard of the Yellowstone one. But this one actually sounds like it's closer to happening. The Yellowstone one may never happen in multiple lifetimes. You just don't know when that one's going to happen. But this one looks like it could happen shortly, and that's not good. Like, it's the inevitable is what they're saying. Scary, man. Scary. Let me see if we have it here. Here you go. Let me see. Do we have this video? Come on. Tell me you got the video. No. I don't want to read the article. I want to get lazy. I want to get the video. What if a mega tsunami hit? Here we go. There we go. This is a YouTuber one that we need right here.
Tricky, and sometimes trying to find the right.
Here you go, folks. Here you go. Found it for you. This is not the one about the damn volcano, so I apologize. They didn't give me the volcano one. But anyways, there you go. You kind of get the idea. That's kind of what they think. Thing falls into the ocean. Boom. Big ass wave. We're all screwed. Just, it's wow. But they said it's not nearly as bad. By the way, if any of you want to go to the Fugees and you want to go on the floor, it's between $500 and $1,500. I don't want to go that badly. I'm just sorry. I want to see the Fugees badly, but I am not paying that kind of money, dude. Damn, chat just got a bit dark there. Oh, yeah, I know. What do you want me to tell? Hey, listen, it's stuff that's going on in the world. I talk about sports, but you guys know I will dabble with life a little bit here. And that volcano stuff going on, I wanted to make sure you guys knew about this, okay? And to give you the facts that it's not supposed to be a 600, because they were saying it'd be like 3, 4, 5, 600-foot waves, right? That'll hit us. And the worst part is it's traveling at over 200 miles an hour. Just think a wall of water traveling at 200 miles an hour, dude. If that freaking half island falls in. Here's what I was thinking about, just to have a little fun with this, okay? Not that this is fun, but just an idea. If they know that that thing could end up falling into the water, why not start, after this thing stops, spewing out lava, why not start shaving that damn mountain down? Huh? Why not start taking it down little by little so that way there's very little that could fall into the ocean? I'm just saying, if that's the case, that volcano could create a earthquake, that half the damn island's going to fall into the ocean and create a big ass tsunami. Listen, those homes are all destroyed already at this point. What are you going to do? Go back to, hey, yeah, let me go back to live there? No, dude. I'm just saying, if you know that big ass rock can fall into the ocean and cause havoc for millions of people all over different parts of the world on the Atlantic Ocean, why not start, kind of taking it down a little bit there? Just saying. 2012 movie, brah. Yeah, but it's not a meteor. Not a meteor. Okay? I get what you're saying. Kind of the same thing, right? But it's not a meteor. It's like right here in our Earth right now that is going to, start that tsunami. We have an injury-prone quarterback. How can we visualize a future with this team? Hey, Andrew, look, let me tell you something. You can visualize a future with the team, man. Again, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to make this all doom and gloom and like it's over and all that. These are aggressive people. They have proven to us that they will stay aggressive and they will try to get things done, whether it's Deshaun Watson or whether it's something else. If Tua doesn't work out, I'm not ready to give up on Tua yet, okay? But if Tua doesn't work out, there is a future, man. You can, that's why they have rolled picks over into another season. That's why they have a bunch of cap space. They have kept themselves fluid while they've kind of killed off all their bad contracts. They loaded the team up with picks. Now, over the next couple of years, we will figure out which picks are hits, which picks are misses. But in the process, I think they're going to have like $77 million of cap space next year. So they kept themselves fluid to a point too. So they have money just in case they want to acquire somebody. Hey, Aaron Rodgers is going to be available. If Aaron Rodgers wants to leave Green Bay and you want to use him for a year or two, and there's also Watson. The good thing about Aaron Rodgers is he actually just goes out with his girlfriend. Watson, well, you just never know what's going to happen. And I still don't understand that situation because his girlfriend is a smoke show and a half. She's not just a smoke show. She's a smoke show and a half. She's hotter than that volcano in the Canary Islands. Okay? I don't know how you're cheating on that. And the fact that she stayed with you on this, that's crazy, man. At 4,000 miles away, traveling at 200 miles an hour, you would have about 19 hours to worry about the wave, Big O. No, actually, dude, they say it'll go well over 200. They say you have 8 hours. That's what the story was last night, that they have 8 hours. Okay? 8 effing hours. I can read you the first article that got me like crazy last night. Let's see. Let me get it for you here. Okay, here we go. As lava surged across La Palma, Some news reports of the eruption raised the concerns that the eruption could potentially send a mega tsunami hurtling towards the eastern U.S., a fear that has been raised and debunked several times in the past, according to Newsweek. The idea originally came in 2001 in a study published by the journal Geophysical Research Letters, which suggest that if Cumbre Vieja ever erupted again, a huge chunk of the volcano could suddenly collapse into the Atlantic Ocean. The study authors estimate that the volume-wise, the chunk could measure between 35 and 120 cubic miles. Okay? 150 to 500 cubic kilometers. It could send a wave as tall as 82 feet crashing into the U.S. coast. But based on recent surveys of Cumbre Vieja, experts have determined that such monumental collapse would be extremely unlikely. Dave Petley, a landslide expert at the University of Sheffield, wrote in a blog that the American Geophysical Union more recent study suggests that in the very worst case scenario, 19 cubic miles, 80 cubic kilometers of rock might slide off the volcano during a violent eruption, generating a wave that would be 6.5 feet tall by the time it reached the eastern seaboard. But the current eruption at La Palma is very likely to remain a local hazard, is what they say. Now, see, or is it? I don't have the original one, but the original one was like a couple hundred, over 200 miles. You have 8 hours before the wave hits us. I'm like, holy shit, 8 hours? Can you imagine how the highway, people would be trying to drive out of Florida, and you know what would happen, right? Like what happened with remember the hurricane, and hurricane was coming and people were trapped and driving around Florida trying to avoid the hurricane and all that stuff. Remember that? And some of you probably were some of those people that got trapped thinking there's no way you'll get out of Florida. I mean, it takes you 8 hours just to get out of Florida with no traffic. There'd be people stuck on highways, and then the tsunami would eat them up. It was probably what would happen. Oh, wow. What a shit business this is. Apparently, Fox 940 Wins will no longer carry local programming. They have let Jeff DeForest, the midday host, go and will now have syndicated Fox radio on their airwaves during weekdays and weekends. The radio station will still have Miami Marlins, University of Miami football, University of Florida football, and NASCAR. DeForest, a Syracuse native, all right there. So Defo is out, man. Shame. I mean, it wasn't really a real sports station. They're just brokering, and they just sell time. It's like 640 and 940. They don't do anything. They're as we would say in Spanish, son un cero a la izquierda is what they are. Okay. So they are negative, but damn, Defo is out, unfortunately. I love Defo, man. He's such a good human being. If any of you ever met Jeff DeForest, he's a good dude, man. Good dude. Really good dude. Feel bad for him. Not shocked. Okay. As you guys know that I've already told you what's going to happen with QAM. Joe will leave. They'll shut down that station. 790 will be the next year. You'll see 790 will only be the only local sports station. They'll have a couple of shows, mostly syndicated stuff. And then they'll continue with their regular bullshit that you got to kiss the team's ass in order to do shows there and all that, or, will threaten you with your job and all that good stuff. Yo, Big O, nobody notices when Deshaun Watson said he wanted out of Houston. All this stuff came out about him. I'm not sure what you're talking about, bro. What does that have anything to do with it? Maybe it was already brewing behind the scenes. They did talk about it, that they were already approached before he complained to the Houston Texans that he wanted out. They had already approached him about his lawyer and Deshaun about all of that. I hope you're not trying to make it sound like they all came up together to make these accusations after just because he wanted to be a free agent or something? What do you think? You think the Houston Texans paid 22 women a lie? Is that what you're thinking, my brother? Is that the Oliver Stone theory behind it? I mean, there's enough evidence that he has never denied that he didn't go after these women and all. What he said, it was massage, and then after now we find out that no, there was also sex involved. So he lied about it too. Initially, it was like, no, I was just getting massages, and then everything was coming. Oh no, yeah, I was also getting laid. Come on, man. Come on. Let's go. Let's have some common sense, bro. I get it, man. Some of you out there, you're super gullible. You think that the Canes are going to spend money on Cristobal or a quality coach, or you believe some bullshit report on a Facebook post that somebody just put up, and and you take it as gospel that this is whatever for any kind of news that you're reading when it's not attributed to anything of quality. I get it. We got a lot of people that make shit up nowadays or create their own narratives. How about Deshaun Watson's got problems, dude? Whether you like to admit it or not, he's got problems. Big O, everything you've been saying about local radio is coming to fruition. I work it, dude. I know all these people. I know what's going on. You know what I mean? I know exactly. I'm telling when I tell you stuff, I don't pull it out of my ass like my boy, the Big Bear 2922. I don't pull out any kind of accusations out of my ass. I tell you stuff because I know the business. I know what it is. I know where we're going. This is where we're going. Right here. Digital. It's podcasting, it's YouTubing, it's whatever. That's how we're connecting with people. That's how you all out there are doing. You have decided this. Every one of you have decided this. You don't listen to radio anymore for talk or for music. It's old people that refuse, that they don't know how to podcast, and they don't know how to YouTube, and they don't know how to subscribe, and they don't know how to follow, and they're, probably threatened by all that kind of stuff. And it's older and older people that are left on radio. Younger and younger people, and even middle-aged people, they want to listen to their iTunes, and they want to listen to their Spotify, and in their Spotify, they will get their music that they want. They will get the talk that they want. They won't get a ton of commercials, which you don't get here. You know what I mean? We have stuff that's sponsored and all that, but we don't bombard you with 25, 30 minutes of commercials in an hour. Nobody wants to hear that anymore. So you'd rather listen to your own music on your phone, or you'd rather go to a platform that carries what you want for audio, for video, for all of that kind of stuff. You guys have done all of that. Because I'm home and I'm watching YouTube, and I'm watching Hulu, and I'm watching Disney, and I'm watching Apple. I don't watch regular television that much. And if I watch a regular show, it's recorded and I speed through the commercials. Don't you all do the same thing? We don't watch live, dude. Maybe news and sports. Maybe. That's it. And most of you are also recording your news. Bill and his dad, they record the Yankee games, and they don't watch for like 3 or 4 innings. And then they turn it on, and then they watch the inning, speed through the commercial, watch the inning, speed through the commercial, watch the inning, speed through the commercial. And then they end up catching up towards the end live because they've left a portion of the game go, so then they can speed through all the bullshit. You guys, that's what it is. And radio's dying, dude. These companies are paying for these towers, these buildings, and now after COVID that everybody can do their stuff from home, they realize they are now paying I mean, crazy amounts of money for all that, and they're losing their asses. This is what's going on. And they're their own worst enemies because they don't know how to adjust to what's going on, too. They allow their hosts to repeat interviews instead of create new content, which you're on digital. You got to give them new content. You can't keep repeating the same story for 3 hours. That's what radio does. They haven't figured it out that, okay, you're competing against digital. Digital is going to give you different subjects to talk about all throughout. They're not going to hammer the same subject. That's what radio was. Hammer the same subject for 2, 3, 4 hours, take phone calls, and keep trying to come up with a different angle in the same subject. That's how they taught you to do radio. Play the hits, repeat the hits. You cannot do that anymore. You must talk and move. What do I do on this show, right? When somebody asks me something that's already been talked about, I tell them what? Rewind. Oh, we talked about that yesterday, ma'am, sir. Please go back to the podcast yesterday and you can hear me talk about that. Because why am I going to repeat the content? The content's there already. They have not adjusted to that either. They're stupid, bro. They're dumb. They don't get what's going on. They don't understand this world. And that's their problem. And so that's why they're all dying. Like I've told you, even on crypto, okay? DeFi is going to kill banks. In a way, by the city of Miami having Miami crypto, they're opening up the door to make themselves useless. Because you're going to watch bank branches disappear. I've been telling you this for months now. Bank branches will disappear over the next couple of years. They will become useless because we won't need banking nearly as much anymore. Very few people will rely on banking. They will have better options in DeFi once they learn how to go about it. Now, old people have a problem with this. And I mean people my age and older. I'm a freak because I have always adjusted with everything that's going on in life and times. I'm always curious about it, and I always never want to get passed up. So I always follow what goes on in the world, and I try to change with it. But you know how it is. The fact starts, and the old person's like, oh, no, I'll use a phone. You know, or the cell phone. No, yeah. The internet. Oh, I don't know how to use an email. Oh, my God, I got to open up this file. Oh, how do you do that? So they're intimidated. They're intimidated by Spotify. They're intimidated by iTunes. They don't know how to use that kind of stuff. I mean, we all have mothers and fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers, and you laugh your ass off when you try to see them catch up to technology, you know, because it's intimidating for them. And that's what we've got going on now in many levels. But yeah, when I tell you this about radio, it's because I know what the F I'm talking about. I know what's going on in this business. I know how people are going to end up losing their jobs at 516, 790. There'll be some other changes coming. They won't keep everybody that's on the air. I promise you that. It's sad, but that's the way it is. It's about production, you know, and not everybody is. So they will wipe it out. That's the inevitable. That's just the way it is. I'm telling you, moms and dads, don't let your babies grow up to be on radio. Okay. Don't encourage them to work for a newspaper because that's as you've watched newspapers die, right? Because the internet will never make it. Well, the internet just killed the newspapers. Because you can just go to your phone and get all your news. You don't need you don't need to get your fingers dirty and wait for a paper that is already, the news is old already by the time you get the paper. It's already changed. And you go to the internet and you can get the updated news. And social media. Oh, social media. Well, social media gives you all the news. I'm watching the whole thing of the Petito case with the young lady that was murdered by the scumbag boyfriend that's run like a coward. I hope he doesn't commit suicide. I hope they're able to catch him and put them in jail and, let the boys handle it. But anyway, so you see all that, and the FBI says we have tweeted out the information for everybody to know. And there's the FBI using Twitter to tell the media and everybody else about how the investigation is going. But you have old people that are intimidated by social media, and they're that's this world. So there's a transition going on in different parts of our society, and in radio, they have not understood what this transition is and how to get it done. I easily could run any of those stations and make them much more successful and better by adjusting to what's going on and teaching them how to do all the things that they need to do, but they don't. Not that I would want that job. I am happy right here. I'm just going to do my thing. I wanted to continue the onside thing. I didn't find the right partners. I'm sorry. I'm moving on. And that's it. This is less stressful for me. I don't need that bullshit. I don't need to work for those kind of people. It's terrible. They're terrible, terrible people. They don't care about human beings at all. Right. There you go, John. Bitcoin is fake current. Exactly. Those are the kind of things. Did you see El Salvador? They bought 250 more Bitcoin. That country is, believe it or not, they are the smartest country in this world, period, right now. They're the ones that get it. They are creating an opportunity for themselves, and I am surprised that there's so many other countries that have crap governments, that their money is worthless. I don't know how they're not doing the same thing. And speaking of old people not adjusting, there was a guy in El Salvador that hated Bitcoin so much, he lit up a Bitcoin ATM on fire. Oh, man. It's awesome. But, life changes. Life evolves. And if you don't evolve with it, it runs your ass over, man. And I've watched it in our business. You didn't get social media? Well, it'll run you over. You didn't learn digital? It'll run you over. It's scary, but that's just the way it is. Let's see. Bitcoin is El Salvador's currency. It's also to be the currency in Ukraine. Oh no, Miles, it's separate. Several countries are, if they're smart, they get on and with the dips that have gone on now, this is a great way to set yourself up. I mean, the current correction that we just had now provided some, because October, November, and December should be amazing months in crypto, which should allow those of us that have been in it for a while to now shave profits, hopefully by the end of the year. As long as you were, disciplined and you stayed your course throughout and you didn't panic and sell. The world is owned by central banking. The royals rule by reducing population. Yeah, well, Tremodio, the world banking will be losing power as time goes on, whether they like it or not. That's going to happen too, my brother. Why do they say if Bitcoin becomes currency, it would actually drop the price instead of cause it to rise? Sir, it'll rise. There's less and less Bitcoin available. Okay? Don't listen. When you hear most of the negative people, it's because they don't know jack shit about cryptocurrency. They don't even know what it is. They don't know what DeFi is. They don't know what layer 2 solutions are. They have no idea what scaling is. They don't know anything, dude. They don't know NFTs. They don't understand all of that stuff. They don't understand where we're going. That's all it is. So they knock it because they don't know it. Ignorance is always like that. It's the same thing. Oh, the Wright brothers will never. Oh, come on, fly. That's the birds. You don't fly. It's been going on for 100 years that people won't believe when something is evolving and changing. Hey, they all thought the internet was a fad and it never. Well, guess what? The internet changed your entire life. You do so much now on the internet. You do almost everything on the internet. And years ago, they were like, nobody's going to use the internet. Keep going. Big O, where are we going to be a tsunami? All right, if the O-line doesn't get yes, we are. It's going to be a tsunami of negativity, a tsunami of frustrations, a tsunami of depression. yeah. If the O-line doesn't get fixed, we're all going to be depressed. Hit the like button, folks. Hit the like button. Thank you, Andres. Thank you. What if I get paid from the U.S. and retired? If I'm you, sir, I'd be looking for a way to maximize that money that you're going to get by studying and understanding what you can do with it in digital currency. It's pretty simple. I'll give you an example. A lot of you have savings accounts, and you put your money away in a savings account that gives you maybe 0.5% or something like that. You could easily buy a stable coin like USDC, right? And then you can stake it and get 10%. Where are you going to get 10% for your money? Nowhere. No risk. That's the beauty. And get by the way, if you do get any stable coins, USDC is the best. Do not get Tether. Do not get Tether. They may have some issues down the line. Be careful. But USDC, solid. I would deliver Papa John's pizza barefoot to the other side of the earth for 1,000 Bitcoin. Big O credit cards is crypto. People wake up. Yep, exactly. And 1,000 Bitcoin, man. That would be nice, right? No, Kyler can't take or sustain those big hits long term. Look at last year. He was banged up. The Cardinals' O-line is superior to ours, by the way. Pretty much everything that the Cardinals have is superior to Miami's. Oh, and I'm sorry. Miami beat them. And so did Tua. But why actually mention the facts? George says, I listen to Modern Finance podcast by Kevin Rose. He's a young VC with lots of experience in crypto. Well, if he's smart, he's going to make some money. Where are the best offensive linemen available for a trade? Zeus, there are no trades right now for Miami, my brother. You can't do that. You're going to overpay, and it's going to be a ridiculous thing. They kind of made their bed now, and they have to lay in it. And they have to get through it now. They have to get through with free agents that are left out there. They have to get through it by stealing somebody from a practice squad or something like that, my brother. At this point, I just gave the example of the Saints who needed a cornerback and they had to desperately overpay for Roby, a 3rd and a 6th rounder, which was overpaying. People would take it. They would try to take advantage of Miami and they would ask for the world for a lineman that you're going to be overpaying for. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. You're better off being disciplined, stay the course, and wait till next year when you get your opportunity and free agents come available and the trade and all that. Then you go and fix your line. Plus, here's the other thing, ladies and gentlemen. You must play these young guys for the rest of the year. You need to find out whether they can play or not. You have to have a better feel for these guys by the end of the year. You cannot see the Noah Igbenogany thing that I've talked about, which again, I'm never critical, but I also said that, not that it's critique, did they screw up in drafting a kid that they can't play to develop? Because if you have Jones and X, you can't develop them. I love that people say, well, he's inactive. Well, yeah, he's going to be inactive anyways. He's not a slot guy. He's an outside guy. And you have your outside guys. So he wasn't going to do anything anyway. But at the moment, he can't do anything anyway, and he can't even play to develop. So it's kind of a catch-22 for the team right now. They have to look at that and go, maybe we overdrafted here. We should have drafted maybe another position that we can develop. Because if we're going to spend money on Jones and have X, how do we develop this kid? Unless they had some kind of a vision that they think he could play slot. But not every. I've told you guys this example many, many times. I covered Sam Madison. I covered Pat Surtain. Only one of them could play the slot. Pat. Sam could not play the slot. That's not his strength. It's not that you couldn't put him in there in desperation, he could try, but that wasn't his strength. He didn't have the same kind of hips that Pat did that can shift to either side of the field quickly. And so Sam was an amazing boundary corner, but not in the slot. And so maybe they thought Noah had the skill set that he could do the slot, and then they played him enough and said, nah. Although he's long and lanky, so I don't think they really looked. It's really difficult for taller corners like that to play the slot, to be honest with you. Normally you need a shorter guy to play the slot there, and that's usually how it ends up happening. So I'm just guessing. I don't think they viewed him that way. So I think they kind of overshot there because they can't play him to develop him. So you can't find out if he can play or not. And the little he plays, since he has no experience, he looks terrible. It's a real tough situation for the team, but they kind of put themselves in that situation now, and they got to figure it out. But wait a minute, I'm not critical. I don't really say anything objective here. I mean, I'm just where are we at here? Okay. Hey, don't knock my damn thing. Oh well. See, I'm already messing everything up. Just for you guys. I'm messing all this up. Just for you guys. But here I am. That's me. All the time. It's the pom-poms. Yay! I never say anything negative. Not me. I never point out anything that might be wrong. Yeah. Let's see. So if we can't quick fix the offensive line, then that means the coaches have to call plays around the weakness. No, dude, they have to get better. No, they have to get better. I'm not giving up on the line either. That's not in my DNA. I'm not giving up on the line. Let's wait. It's still way too early in their careers to give up on those guys. All right. How still on? I thought he started at 8:30 this morning. I did start at 8:30. All right, we are done. We're history. We're in the archives. Tuttle wants me out. She wants to kick me out. So now that Tuttle's kicking me out, she says, what are you doing here? Why are you still here? You're bothering me, Tuttle says. So I can't bother Tuttle anymore, so I'm out of here. I got to thank, Alan Pupar, as always, and, of course, Ira Winderman and Clay Ferraro. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel. I love you.